Hey you guys, it's Gigi and I'm back for a movie review for Ed Burton 1234. And I know Ed's gonna kill me because I haven't done this review. It took me a long time. Whew, sorry. So the movie that I'm gonna be reviewing, as you can tell by the title down below, is The 13th Floor. So the movie is kind of like Face Off meets Back to the Future, I guess. This really hot guy named Douglas Hall, that actor, like, he's really hot. He works for, like, this guy named Fuller, and they're into, like, jumping bodies back in time and stuff. And then, people end up dying, and they're not really sure why, and then come to find out it's because there's a simulated world that they're jumping to. But then come to find out that they're actually a simulated world too, which they didn't know. They thought that they were like the original, but they were actually a simulated world that was able to make a simulated world, which had never been done before. And people were jumping into bodies and killing each other. Or at least one person really was. And it was just, yeah. So, my review. It actually reminds me of a movie that my ex-boyfriend would have made me watch. Like, it's definitely up there with The Happening and all other movies that I would never think to on my own watch. It's a movie that I would have to watch if, one of my friends wanted to see it, or if a guy that I'm dating wants to see it, or if I get asked to do a review on it. It's definitely not a movie that I would have gone through Netflix and been like, oh, this sounds interesting, let's watch it. By face value, the movie doesn't seem interesting, but it actually is quite interesting, like, because you're not really sure what the fuck's going on, and you're just really sitting there like, what? And you're kind of confused. Like, I have to admit, up until the very end, I have never seen Face Off with Nicolas Cage and John Travolta, like, in full. I just saw the one scene on the playground where it was after they had switched or something. And then I was just really confused because I didn't know if Nicolas Cage was supposed to be bad or John Travolta was supposed to be bad. And that confusion that I had of not knowing who was who, which was where, why, and why, that's what I kind of felt throughout the whole entire movie. And then there were certain parts of the movie where I was just like, okay, I understand what's going on now, but because of this, therefore this should happen. I like how the movie started off with a quote from Descartes. Philosophy. I took philosophy as an undergrad. So, all in all, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't say that the movie was horrible. I would say that it wasn't a kind of movie, like I said, that I would pick for myself. Side note, these are really good. And so are the raspberries. But I just happen to have the strawberries right here. Okay. So, it kind of reminded me of, like I said, Back to the Future meets Face Off meets Freaky Friday. Because people keep going in and out of each other. The movie's from 1999, which is why the graphics and the plot was different than typical 90s movies, I guess you could say. Because I'm watching this movie, I'm like, is this movie from the 90s? Like, it doesn't feel like it is. And so that's because it's from 1999, and by 1999, we were already converting into what would become 2000 and stuff like that. So, it was an interesting movie. I wouldn't say that I love it. I actually know quite a few people that would recommend the movie to, because I know that they would probably get more of a enjoyment out of it. I think the thing with the movie is that it's one of those movies where you have to, like, think. Like, there are some movies that actually make you think. And if you think about it, the quote that they gave from Descartes was, I am what I am, therefore I am. Hold on. I forgot the name of the quote. Oh my god. If my philosophy teacher could, like, see me butchering this quote right now, he'd probably shoot me in my face. So, let's just go right to the quote. I'm on Netflix trying to find the quote again, because the quote is at the very beginning of the movie. And now we're going to go through all these previews so I can actually tell you what the quote was. Just give me a second. Aha, that's the quote. I think, therefore I am. And that was by Descartes. And that's like his actually most famous quote. And like I said, I took philosophy and it was really bad that I couldn't remember that quote, especially since we spent a week on just that one philosopher. And I think the quote's at the very beginning of the movie, so it's one of those movies where, like, you kind of forget that you saw that quote, but then by the end, it doesn't reiterate the quote, which I think would have been really good, because then people would have definitely been like, aha, okay, I get the theme of the quote. Alright, so let's get into, I think that the plot was really good. I just think that the way it was delivered wasn't really well. I felt like there were a whole lot of scenes where it was overacted. And it was just kind of like, I'm waiting for Susan Lucci to pop up and to finish this scene. So, the acting could have been a little bit less. I love the fact that the Allstate guy was on there, because, like, him and his voice just cracks me up. Allstate. Yeah. It's like the black John O'Hurley. Cracks me up. Anyway. But the plot was really good. I like the concept behind it. I like things like that are kind of like testing science. I think testing science is always a fun concept, but at the same time, I always feel like it's kind of dangerous, because there's a reason why time progresses. And I do believe that, you know, I do believe in the butterfly effect, pretty much. So, yeah. What else? Gonna eat another one of these. These are so addictive. I have to, like, stop. My breath is always minty fresh. So good. So, let's get into my overall view. So, out of 10 stars, I would give it an 8.5. And the reason why I would give it 8.5 is because, like I said, the plot was great, the concept was great. It was just really the overacting of everything. And I feel like the concept and the overall outcome was very simple. But I felt like the deliverance of the outcome and the deliverance of the story was just complicated in its acting. If that makes any kind of sense. But yeah, so I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the last few movies that you gave me, because it wasn't a comedy or anything like that. And it wasn't, like, blatantly bad. It was more on the sci-fi-ish kind of a side. But it's definitely not a movie that I hated. So, that's that for you, buddy. Now it's time for me to give you one movie I want you to watch. And as per usual, I've lost my pen. I swear, I lose this pen all the time. So, I know that you wanted to like switch to the 90s because, you know, you flunked at the 80s. I beat you to a pulp. But, I wasn't done with you in the 80s. I know. So, a new movie that I want you to watch is the 80s movie. It's from 1986. You can find it on Netflix. And it's called Chopping Mall. I know. Chomping. CHOPPING. Mall. MALL. Such an interesting word if you think about it. Mall. So, yeah. So, movie I want you to review is 1986 Netflix Chomping Mall. And my overall consensus of the 13th Floor was it wasn't that bad. It was very psychological. And so I would recommend that movie to anyone who likes movies like that. Typically, movies are supposed to be an escape from reality, so that way you don't have to think, which is why I'm not always the first one to run for those kind of movies. But, I don't know, they're okay. So, sorry if you thought I was going to hate the movie. I didn't hate it. It was just over dramatic. But, yeah, I didn't hate it. Not like I hated The Room. I really think that The Room was your plateau. Like, I think you should have saved The Room till the very, very end. And then you could have, like, gone off in a bang. But I can't believe that you even thought that The Room was as bad as, like, the Barbarian Brothers. Like, I can't believe you even correlated those two together. Well, that's the movie I want you to review. And, oh, I wanted to apologize because I feel bad because I had you watch, what movie did I make you watch? I made you watch that Eva LaRue movie. I forgot what it was called. Holy crap, I forgot what it's called. But I had you watch that Eva LaRue movie from the 90s. Crash and Burn, there you go. It's not on my list, so I gotta write that down. But, like, I had you watch Crash and Burn because I wanted you to see the love scene because I knew that you would enjoy that because I know how much you like Eva LaRue. And I figured, yeah, you'd enjoy seeing that. And then I felt bad because when you watched the movie, you didn't get to see that scene. But then you did get to see the scene. So you owe me a review of that. And yeah. So, see you for Chomping Mall. I can't wait to see what movie you're going to give me. And I know you're going to give me like a really bad one because it took me forever to do this review. But it's okay because I still love you. Bye.